in or not? Let's see. Maybe eventually. Okay. So, I guess I'll call the meeting to order. Chris and Chelsea were the chairs at the last one.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Holy crap.
Yeah, you're low.
I know. Wow. I mean, I'm kind of vertically challenged anyway. Okay, does this time work okay for everyone for future meetings?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were thinking also, like, if we needed to shift,
This one to
we can, because
4:30?
yeah, because we
Okay.
changed land use and planning to 4:30 on Mondays, that if we wanted to shift this to 4:30 on Tuesdays, to give us a little buffer between meetings, chance, I can,
Whatever you guys want to do.
Will that work for you, Mike? Okay.
that gives
Okay.
us a half
So
hour
we're
buffer.
keeping it the same.
Yeah, but it'll be at 4:30 instead of 4:35.
That way we get a little,
Oh my God, I got
chance to
honey
go.
all over my foot. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So, do we have minutes from the December 10th meeting?
nope,
No, that would have been Chris.
that would have been Chris, and I do not, send it?
I'm like,
I think I had a report in there.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think she,
Should we just submit that as our minutes?
let's look, let me look in here.
Because I know we weren't really doing much at the end of the year. No, not project-wise anyway.
That was for that, it was January 10th, right?
December 10th, yeah.
December 10th, December.
We didn't have them in January.
Minutes, here we are.
Okay.
Well, they're in progress. Nope. This is just a draft.
Well, that's what they would be, yeah. If you wanna just flip through the.
I'm going through it right now, everything looks good.
Okay.
My stuff is all in there, she does a great job of,
Just copy and pasting.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, all right. I move to approve the minutes of December 10th.
A second.
second.
All approved? Aye.
Okay.
So, Mike asked that we, shift up his update, to next,
Yeah,
so, can take care of some stuff?
Well, I included in the update, we're gonna talk a little bit about how we handle, watering of yards and metering and stuff.
okay,
And Danae and Monica come up with pretty good plans, I think, we all kind of have. That'll get us away from meters and basically just, in a nutshell, average their bill during the
water,
non-irrigation months.
okay,
And that would be their sewer use. They pay their water bill, if it was, whatever, 10 million gallons, they'd pay that, but they wouldn't pay 10 million gallons of sewer.
Right,
They'd pay their average monthly.
Right.
because it's just going into the
Um,
ground, not to the
And
sewer.
with that, I think I'm gonna turn it over to you guys and let you explain how we're gonna do this.
Right.
And this is so that you guys, it's gonna take some action with the council to
Right.
get from here to there.
Right,
And so I wanna bring it to this committee, because this is the vehicle to get it there,
It works.
basically.
Yep.
So,
So one of the reasons we're doing this is the removal of the irrigation meters. Not everybody within the city has the
Right.
irrigation meters, so we can't remove the sewer fees off of someone if they have like a really big leak or if they're putting sod down
right,
and they are using high amounts of volume of water, they're getting charged on their sewer fees. So by removing the irrigation meters and doing, like he was saying, an averaging,
mhm,
where they would only get charged all their
Mhm.
water fees and then doing the average of their base sewer charges. What we do is we do a combined and a subtract each month when we do the monthly billing at the end of the, month, when we read them.
okay,
And what we do is we have certain houses that have the irrigation meters, and the way it's set up is we have to do the combined subtract to find out how much water they used versus how much went to the house, how much went to the yard.
okay, okay.
So,
it's a pain in the butt.
it really is,
well, and we had some people that wanted them,
And
and
we
we
don't
could,
have enough meters.
yeah.
And we ran out of meters, was the thing,
And the
right?
meters don't work and blah, blah, blah. It's
Okay.
just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
alleviate that problem.
yeah, and it would also, it would really limit the amount of billing errors that happen because of the duplicate meter, not duplicate meters, but the dual meters.
Right,
Mhm.
It really would simplify things because there's only going to be one meter reading per household.
No, I think that's a great idea.
The cost associated with the irrigation meters when people request for them, they're very high, they're pretty significant. It's about $600 which would take them several years to actually get that money back with their water usage on their yards
Okay.
to make it worth the person's,
Investment.
investment
Got
in
it.
those meters. So it really makes it really difficult for it to be a valid thing.
Okay.
We've got, this has been going on as long as I've been here. I've only been the utility clerk now since July, but for the 2 years I've been here, I've seen this. It is a huge issue,
Okay.
especially during COVID, when we literally couldn't get a single meter in.
Oh, yeah, I
Right.
remember.
I know, and people were mad, because they wanted, they didn't want
Right.
to, so,
Well,
yeah.
and
We
the
got
other
some
thing-
nasty emails
I'm
from,
just,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just surprised someone didn't, like, it just seems like such a common sense way about of doing that it didn't come out earlier.
Well, and there were a lot of people who were like, I just don't have that kind of money to buy a new meter
Right.
too, and.
Yeah,
Pay a plumber to install.
yeah, I was gonna
And,
say, it was
yeah,
a
just
couple
the
$100 for a
install.
plumber to install, Donnie
Yeah,
was
so
doing that.
those are the benefits of, of doing this.
Okay.
And then how it would work is we would do it based off of the average
Okay.
of their non-use months when they're not using their irrigation. And we would give them that sewer rate through the year, or through the non-use, through that whole year.
And what months are we thinking about doing it?
Specifically, October through April is what we would
Oh,
say.
that's.
gosh, we could even
average.
go,
That's what we'd
I
average.
don't think we
and
could
then
go.
we
It
do.
just depends on the year, because if we did it like based off of last year, we had a wet year.
True.
This year, we had no moisture at all, and we were
Well,
watering well into October.
Right. True, so I guess it kind of,
So
yeah,
the months that we'll use, the average will be June, July.
August, September.
4 months.
Who's on call?
Eric B.
Okay, no, I think that's great. So, will, it just be, a resolution changing the fees for the sewer then?
Yeah, it would, yep, on that, and then.
Because it wouldn't be an ordinance, it just would be a resolution changing how we collect the fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we could offer a buyback program for the meters, that were purchased.
Oh, that would help out with the
We
shortage.
we can't offer a lot, because a lot of these meters are almost at their full life term.
Like, okay, got it.
But we can, because they will also have to hire a plumber to come
remove-
out and remove
See,
the.
so the city staff, the city Public Works can't go out and take, I know you can't
Our guys,
add it, but,
no, and our guys are not plumbers, they're not going
Yeah,
to
I'm
go
not
and
gonna take
install a
around
section.
Plumbing in a house and then have it spring a leak and then.
Yeah.
have it
Yeah.
get
We would be
fixed.
investing, we would be
Maybe-
doing that.
Yeah,
We
no.
would be
Our-
buying that.
I guess my suggestion would be, like, if you could go to a plumber and say, we've got these houses, like, have the city,
Bid out.
and then, we get the,
For what, for removing the meters?
yeah, if we offer a buyback program, just say, you won't get anything back from it, but we'll have the plumber come in and take it off for you.
And that came from the mayor, so the mayor, because people have already invested in installing an irrigation meter, they're already out the plumber part of it. If we can offer a buyback program to be able to reuse those meters, generally, we can, because they're not used very much.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought if you went to a plumber and maybe they'd give you a deal, if you gave them, like, 10 houses to go, take them
I
off.
think we'd wanna look at, a timeframe, maybe people that have done it in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
See.
Anybody after that,
yeah.
they're on their own.
They're on the-
Yeah.
Agree.
Did you do any in the last 2 years, though?
How much?
No.
I was gonna say,
None.
like.
We didn't have any meters.
That's why
Not
I'm
one.
maybe.
Nope.
Yeah.
Then we can say, we'll buy back.
Because then I'd be like, sweet.
No, there isn't any.
Okay, there you go. I mean, if that's the case, if you don't wanna buy them back, then there's no point in offering it. If they're past their, I think it's been since COVID that they were probably put on there, because the city couldn't get them in,
No.
and all the new ones were going to new construction,
Or repair,
and not to irrigation.
noted. Okay.
So I guess just throw that out there.
We'll explore it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me, so just to recap, it's just taking the average of the non-use months of like October and April,
October through April.
October through April, that's, yeah.
Yeah, when you're not irrigating.
Right.
And that would be
Non-irrigating
their
months.
sewer average.
How many people does this involve? How many people have the 2 meters?
There was a
About,
lot-
approximately.
30, about 30.
That's not very
It's
many.
not very many, however, it will impact way more people because everybody will be on this.
Everyone can benefit from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can water your lawn in the
Basically,
summertime
automatically
without
pay for
paying,
that.
yeah.
Without paying the.
Like, yeah, you may have a $300 water bill, but you will have a $50 sewer bill, or, you know?
Like, the most important thing is that they will still pay for water. They're watering their lawn, they will still pay for water.
Mhm.
They just won't pay for the services, sewer, going on their lawn.
Well, they're
It's not
basically-
going into the sewer, so
Yeah.
essentially, they shouldn't have been paying it in the first place.
They're not paying for a service they didn't receive.
Correct.
Right.
So we're just trying to write that, and then, it will impact funds, obviously,
Mhm.
because the way our system is set up currently is we collect on that, so we will see a decrease in revenues.
We might see an increase in water.
But we
Yeah,
also
it might-
might
yeah, I was
see
gonna say,
an increase in
might-
water.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because people will water their
Well,
lawn.
now people will be like, oh, well, if my sewer's already, got it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
exactly.
And, do we want to, just a timeline, have this go into effect July 1st, so it's in the next budget term? Or do you think we'll be okay if we, you know, June's usually pretty wet anyway, so it's not really.
Yeah, I think we're trying to get it towards actually the watering season. For us, I don't think it
Okay.
will matter
Yeah.
budget-wise.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay on those.
Okay, yeah, most people don't water in May and June unless, like you say, you're putting down sod or something like that, because it's pretty wet,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't affect that
yeah.
much.
And is this easily accomplished?
Yeah, fairly easily,
All right.
actually.
So,
Yep, our billing system is set up to do that kind of
Changes.
change.
When you talk to Black Mountain, do they have other customers that do this?
Yeah, well, it's set up for other customers to do it. He was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense to do it this way then.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would imagine that there are other places that do it. And maybe when, the new, rates went into effect,
Mhm.
it might, maybe they didn't know this was an option.
Mhm.
And it's just always been done that way.
yeah, so
And
we
it,
didn't.
but it is an option, so we can fix it and.
And it won't negatively affect any of our ability for bonding or anything like that, our rates on sewer are still gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Should
we're
be.
still at like 119% of target rates.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
not negatively,
123,
I don't
okay.
think necessarily, like you said, more people
No.
will end up watering.
right,
If they're not paying for a service that they didn't use on the sewer end of things, that's been a pretty common comment from customers is like, they're upset that they're paying for sewer based on water usage when they know it's not going in the sewer.
right.
So, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, people protest that and don't water their lawns on purpose.
I know, and then it looks awful, and,
And we don't want our town to not look.
Right.
well, and it is, if you have if it's green in town, it's going to lessen our danger of forest wildfire,
Wireless.
Yeah.
you know, so if everyone's lawn is parched and tinder dry, that's not good.
Right.
When August comes around,
Yep,
so,
exactly.
Or when, Fourth of July.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
perfect, so do you want, so we'll have to write a resolution, do you
So,
have something, and it'll just be a simple
yeah, so.
fee resolution change?
It is, so water sewer fees.
Yep.
Are set by ordinance.
Oh, they are not, by ordinance, not resolution? Okay,
Yes, because water and sewer has to be noticed. We have to send letters to everybody impacted.
so we'll have to have two
For the
public
better.
hearings, okay.
So
Ordinance.
that's why we're getting a handle on it now,
Got
is
it.
because it will be a kind of a lengthy process. And then anything else we might need to update in the ordinance while we're in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Okay, do you want us to review that at the next meeting, or do you want to, make changes and present it, or do you want us to do it? Do you like,
I think part of that would be up to you guys a little bit. I'd like to, get it moving along, because I don't really know exactly how many, there's many hoops we have to jump through for this.
apparently it's an ordinance.
Yeah.
It is an
So-
ordinance and it does have to be noticed to the public. However, I mean, we're not
Changing the
changing
rate.
rates.
No, we're not changing rates.
Changing how it's billed.
So So
Not
that's
changing the
part-
rate at all.
Let me look
Is
into
it
it.
more like an
Okay.
addendum to our
Started
current
the
ordinance?
irrigation.
Yeah, you still have to public know,
Any change, any,
well, the only difference is if it's not a rate change, then you probably don't have to have the public notice
Right.
in the public hearing. I mean, but you do have to have 2 readings of it with,
okay.
because it's changed to an
Well, that's
ordinance.
what I was like wondering.
But do check on, yeah.
Would it be similar to when we changed the garbage from
Arrears
taxes to
to,
monthly?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we could, yeah, maybe. Let me
Well,
look
We'll look into that.
We'll dig into
Okay.
that,
Awesome. Cool.
but I just wanted to get the balls started to roll.
Yeah, and
No,
we'll,
okay.
put that on the agenda for sure for next time. And I totally skipped over, I'm sorry. Number 1, we need to appoint a committee chair and a secretary.
Oh, I thought you were doing that already, by the way you were taking over. Like-
I was just starting it because our chair was gone before. I just know that they wanted to talk right away, so I was trying to get.
Well, that's okay, they all can leave.
Yeah, I know.
And,
It's just 3 of us, right?
Monica.
thank you, I was like, that is Monica.
Yes.
I can't, I was like, hey, Monica.
So who would like to be chair?
I thought you were doing a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, unless,
No, I can be chair.
I move to approve Jody as the chair.
Second.
Okay.
You
I can do,
What are you doing on your other committee? Because I'm secretary of the other one, so
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm
I
not
can
gonna
do secretary.
volunteer unless
Yeah,
you're
no, that's
done.
I can do secretary on this one.
Okay,
And
okay.
Chris has got this already set up as a working doc, so
That's
so I
awesome.
just
Yeah.
kind of go in
Oh, shit.
and paste.
I'd love to see
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. So, additional updates?
Do you want me to just
Yeah.
through them all?
Yeah.
I had her print out this stuff, but it got kind of crazy.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
It's on yours, on the back of it.
Love, oh, wow, look at you, you've got a whole, oh, okay, never mind. I was like, wow.
No, on the back, that was a printing error, but that's,
That's okay.
you can look at that too,
That's in
that's no
the,
removal policy for,
that's also in the,
it's kind of what we're working, it's a modified version
yeah,
of,
okay.
I'm find my copies, I gave all mine away. So, stormwater, the only thing to note there is, and I will give a little history here, because I don't know that Jody's heard it, or Ann. When we were doing phase 2 and 3 of the stormwater project, it became apparent that there was 4 intersections on Broadway that have storm drain inlets that go into the sewer.
Oh.
And so we confirmed this prior to the project starting. We met with MDOT and said, hey, you've got storm drains in here. I said, we'll do the design for the fix. We have a contractor here in town. We can add it as a change order, so you don't have to pay mold fee or nothing, but you guys pay to hook them up
Yeah.
correctly. And they basically told us to go pound sand. And then, when I was at the meetings in, West Yellowstone, late summer, I happened to be able to talk to the head of the DOT.
Nice.
And I asked him, and he used to be the head of the DEQ.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
I said,
There we
"So how
go.
is it I have one state agency at the DEQ telling me I can't put stormwater in my sewer, it's illegal, but I got another state agency at the DOT putting stormwater in my sewer."
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. And then after that, I got a call back or the engineers did, from the folks at DOT, and they said, hey, we want to talk to you about your storm drains again, or our storm drains, DOT storm drains. So we had the meeting in beginning of January. They're singing a different tune now, they want to
Good.
figure out how to fix this.
Good job.
We don't have any solid plans. I stressed to them that I really would like to see it happen this summer. They have to go look through their agency to find funding for it. It's gonna cost about $1 million, I think.
Wow.
By the time they're done. If they had done it as a change order, it would probably been half that, but.
Yep.
So that's what's going on with stormwater. So it'll be, I have a feeling it'll probably be a year or two or more, but
Okay.
it's moving in the right direction now. And it is a significant amount of water that goes in the sewer when Broadway, those 4 intersections.
Yeah, good.
Wastewater, we're hoping to get phase 1 of the wastewater improvements out for bid this spring. I'm gonna give you guys also kind of a memorandum from Great West that just goes over all of our big projects, kind of an update. And it's, the memorandum is a little bit, they cut and paste stuff, and it's a little misleading in terms of, some of the stuff's already been done, but we're trying to get that, out to bid this spring. That'll be the relining of the super deep, super old sewer line that basically runs from 10th to 19th, half a block up Broadway, so it services all the businesses. It's a very good project to do. We did get, a total of $625,000 in the grants for that project, and we will, basically be pulling the rest of the money out of our reserves to pay for that project. We submitted grant applications for phase 2 and 3 of the wastewater project, which is a continuation of an effort to replace approximately 33,000 feet of old clay lines, which, like we had last summer break, those grants, are being evaluated right now by the legislature. They're in House Bill 6 and House Bill 11. I went up to Helen on Monday and testified in support of them for the MSEP program, and then I did the RLG program on Zoom on Thursday. We're ranked, I think, 9 and 14, and I think they're gonna fund up to 20.
Oh.
And that's the rankings that the Department of Commerce gives, which is, based on a matrix and real information. I think this year's legislature may be trying to outthink them, so the rankings may not matter. So it's really gonna be interesting to see if we get these grants. I just got something in the email today that said Trump canceled all the funding.
Yes, I heard that.
For the infrastructure, yeah,
Oh.
all the federal
And,
funding.
We'll see how that unfolds. It may affect
Okay.
just that project. The phase 1, we've already got, sounds good.
Yeah.
So on water, we had our first meeting with the SRF, discuss our loan for, the 2 projects that are coming up. And one is the 16-inch bypass, which is a project that's been talked about for 20 years. And that one would be first. And just the particulars, originally, when we first started approaching this, the mindset of SRF was, and SRF is a state revolving fund, was that if we combine the projects and get it over a $4 million total budget, then we would qualify for 50% loan forgiveness, which means we don't have to pay back half the money.
Right.
Okay.
So we did that, and then when we had our meeting earlier this month, they said, you don't have to do that. We'll give you 50% forgiveness on each project, so we split them both apart again.
Okay.
So it's a lot better for auditing and for just tracking to have them
Right.
separate.
Nice.
So that's kind of what's going on with that. Of the 2 projects, the first one would be the 16-inch bypass. We're hoping that we could do that project this summer. The design is 90% complete. As soon as it's finished up, it'll get submitted via DEQ for review. As soon as that's completed, we can put it up for bid.
Just to clarify, is that the one that brings more water up to the golf course?
To the west bench.
West bench,
Golf
okay.
course, spires.
Okay, yep.
And it's kind of a confusing process because we can't do the loan until it goes bid. Because they don't they don't play with estimates, they want real
They
numbers.
want the exact.
Right.
So, and I think it was confusing on the stormwater project, you know, because we went to bid and then we were asking for the loan,
Yeah.
but that's the way it's gonna work, so, just so you know, the same process is gonna happen again. Been changing out meters, slowly but surely, we fixed the bad water leak today down on Hagan,
That was a weekend affair, is that what I saw?
with that.
You were closed all weekend, that road was closed?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
put a ground tower, we discovered the leak on Friday afternoon. Got a ground thawing machine we actually found one in town that we could rent. We got it set up on Saturday, it took till today to thaw the ground. And we got it thawed out and dug.
How much for one of those machines? Is it something we might need to invest in?
No, I'm gonna
Are
put
they
it in
gonna be
our
okay?
CIP. as
Okay.
Partly, you can buy a good used one for about 15,000, maybe
Yeah,
20. They sell new for about 50, 60.
yeah. You know, it's really expensive if you hire someone to come and do
Where
it.
did you find this thawing machine?
Adam Quick had one.
Adam Quick, that's funny, guess he wants to get
No,
out of it.
Go grab one out of my shed.
I will buy one just 'cause if we buy one,
Yeah,
then we won't need it.
Yeah,
that's true.
is that always a bad thing, though?
Well, I mean, if you can have access to one and rent it, I mean, that's, you know, for
That's
what you're
also-
using it for, that's fine too, right?
On the street, we're having our first snow party on Broadway tonight.
Yay, yay.
We're gonna start about 2:00.
Where are you starting?
We're from Fifth to 19th Street, and the side streets to the alley, and if we can get all the way to Platt and Hauser and Oaks, we will.
Yeah, that's gonna be so
Depends on
nice.
how many cars we gotta deal with.
Well, I just know in the morning, like, I'll go to the.
Yeah, you're gonna have a big detour if you come through town in the morning, Broadway will be shut down.
Well, 'cause I hit the Pollard, and then, but I noticed last time you guys did the street cleaning, I was like, where I park? I took it as a sign that I should just go home.
You have to park down here on Platt,
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll walk,
she's going to work out, so it's good.
Or I just know now that it's gonna be a mess, and I just have been.
We've had quite a bit of plowing
There's lots
this
now.
month. Unfortunately, we've had Springs guys in on weekends and one holiday, so that's good for them. That's our budget,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
whatever.
Got it done.
So-
I'm sure everybody saw we did get the EDA.
Yeah.
And, like, with, one of the things you're gonna be, I think, voting on tonight, already talked about is a resolution for reimbursement for the SRF loans.
Yeah,
And basically, so SRF, if you guys do this resolution and you
Okay.
know, we're 90% designed on the 16-inch bypass.
okay,
We pay for that.
Okay.
So basically, what that program will do is they'll reimburse us with the loan money to pay for that. Well, we get 50% forgiveness, so basically, it's a good deal because we get that design work done for half price to us.
okay.
Okay.
Unfortunately, with the EDA grant, they don't do that. They don't retroactively pay for design, so we have not done a whole lot of, we did a little bit out of pocket preliminary design. I did tell, we had some money, engineering money set aside. I had them run a quick survey so that we could get it before the snow.
Mhm.
But we don't have a lot of design work done because if we waited until the award letter, then the grant can pay for the design.
I guess,
It won't
instead of paying.
retroactively like the SRF.
Mhm.
So, long story short, I don't know when the EDA project's gonna happen. We've got a finished design now, we gotta jump through all the ADA hoops. We gotta see if the ED grant's still even available after today.
Yeah, well, that was the first thing that was stopped, was all of the funding for anything that had to do with the infrastructure bill.
So, and the
And-
EDA grant, though,
I don't know if that was-
Economic Development Agency. I don't
Okay.
know if that,
If that was part of that infrastructure bill, and
I
then,
have a feeling that nobody knows what's all affected.
They
It'll
don't.
take a couple weeks to shake it out.
And then the federal grants were all done today or yesterday. They froze all of those.
Basically, when I met with the engineers last Friday and, when we were talking about timeframes for this EDA project, my 2 cents were, and, I'd like to know what you guys think. I said, you know, if we're in a situation where we can't go out to bid till July, you know, I say we put it out to bid, but let's start it in May. Because
Mhm.
it's gonna be a lot of tore up stuff. Let's do it all in one season rather than, if we start it in July, if we put a bid in July, so they start work in August,
Yeah.
they're gonna quit,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna come back in the spring.
We're not always
They're
gonna have,
Tore up for.
we're not always gonna have a fall like we did this year.
Yeah,
No.
so, that's my only thoughts on it, you know, if we do end up where it gets kicked down the road and we can't do an early bid date, we might look at 2026 as our construction year for it. So, again, opinions appreciated, because that's just my 2 cents. Of course, we got those grants in that we talked about last time for a tree removal project and a replanting project.
What park, or all parks?
No, it's just in the Parks Department.
Just
I kind
parks.
of break this out by kind of the 5 parts of public works, stormwater, wastewater, water, streets, and parks. So that's just basically to little history. We've done 2 inventories over the last 10 years or so of the trees in Red Lodge. We haven't really done anything with the inventories, so we looked at the inventories, and there were 70-ish trees that were deemed to be removed. Some for public safety, some because they were dead, some because they were diseased. It's a project to get rid of all those trees.
Okay,
And we're gonna plant back like 30 trees.
okay.
And I think we have a good shot of selling.
Yeah.
And, I talked about this the last one too, but I'll give you a little history. So Pride Park, the planters are all rotten. And I've had numerous people reach out, talk about the project down there. I'd like to see something
More
Red
substantial.
Lodge and robust, like either stone face concrete or rock, you know, something that in 20 years is still gonna be there. Something that'll incorporate, you know, like stone benches or something that's resilient. And we've had, since I've been here, I think we've spent over $1,000 on garbage cans down there, because they get trashed, but something that would incorporate the garbage can in there, and then maybe a light that would shine down where people play instruments and stuff.
Okay.
And just as a way to look at grants or even private funders for this, I went, talked to Parks Board about it, and, we have $85,000 in project money. I took 5,000 of that, hired a landscape architect. They're gonna work with us, draw up a beautiful picture of what it's gonna look like, a budget, and then we can go out and say, we need money for this.
Can we, include bathrooms in it?
With that, I mean, that's
That wasn't really part of it, and I kinda got the impression, because bathrooms have been discussed there in the past, I believe.
Quite a few times.
Got the impression it was a heated topic.
Well, I know, but, and in our growth policy and our downtown master plan that we've been working on, we need downtown public bathrooms and not just there, and there's not really any place else to put them. And, even if it's, and there is some grant money out there through the Main Street program that we can apply for, because it would directly help tourism.
Basically, right now, what I'm having them work on is, when you first, where the planters are, when you first kind of go in there.
Yeah, the front part of the park.
Yeah, where the stamped concrete is, and that's
Okay.
stamped concrete shot, and it would be replacing that too, but it's just I held them to that line.
Yeah, I think we had
I
always,
wouldn't say we couldn't think about a bathroom, I think it'd
Be
be toward the back.
towards the alley, yeah,
Alley,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
That,
And
you
it,
know, the one thing that's a little bit of bugger in there, but it's not a deal breaker, but it is, that sewer line right there is probably 17 feet deep.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I remember
Digging
that,
that deep in that narrow of an alley would be
that's always been the contention with that.
expensive proposition. 'Cause
Well-
we couldn't do it.
I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to, right now, as a temporary fix, porta potties there, you know, because I brought in a porta potty in back behind my shop, and it got used a
Oh,
lot.
A lot more than it
I'm like, so, you know, just even something, I don't know.
Is this something you have to talk to the ladies of the garden club about?
Yeah, they're involved.
Okay.
They have a lot of ownership there, as they should.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have quite the input.
No, they're gonna, Neil is the architect, he's gonna come up and
Mhm.
we're gonna have anybody and everybody who's got a stake in that thing come, and we're gonna put ideas on paper, and then they're gonna come back to us, and then we're gonna,
So, speaking of parks, because Chelsea was the rep from here on the Parks Board, did either of you want to volunteer? I mean, we're picking someone new to be on the Parks Board, I think, tonight from the council.
Oh,
is she not on parks anymore, or?
Well, she's not on Public Works.
Oh, well, I don't know that.
You don't know,
I don't know
okay.
if that's a one or the other.
Okay, I mean, if she still wants,
Council person, I don't think
they don't have to be the same, okay.
Okay.
What time, when do they meet?
It's Wednesday at 5:30.
She's on both sustainability and parks because they kind of go together.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know that she'll want to do both
And then,
again,
The
so.
last thing I penciled in here was the CIP,
Yeah.
that's what
Yes.
we were
So
meeting with
Great.
the engineers with last Friday.
Okay.
We're overdue on that. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can get done in the next week on that, and in a nutshell, I have a copy here somewhere. Basically, if people have, if any of you guys have ideas for capital projects, and it can be, you know, throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks.
Okay.
It's more important to put stuff in here, even if it's probably not something we're gonna do, just because in the event, all of a sudden there's a grant out there that caters to bathrooms
Yeah,
Right.
in little tiny parks in towns.
Small.
Ski hills. near-
Right.
yeah, no, that's
In
great,
our CIP,
okay.
Then they
that
can-
we've proven to them that, you know,
The
this
necessity.
is a need,
Yeah.
and it's an important document. And I am gonna put, I was gonna put bathrooms at Rotary Park in there. We can put I'll put bathrooms in there for Pride Park too, but
Okay,
I'm putting a lot of equipment in there, just to have it in there.
well, equipment wears out, so.
One thing, I think that, I'm gonna include it in there, it's a little, but it is a street management plan for the city. Just a database that will basically categorize and describe all the streets, and then it's built for this, called Paver, and it'll tell you, you know, this is where you should spend your money, this is where your highest need is, and it's something that when we're working on a street, somebody comes up and says, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? We can say, because of this.
Would it
And
also-
it's a direction.
Would it also include, streets that don't have sidewalks versus ones that do? For-
This one, I don't know. I gotta learn a little bit more about this program. It's used by a lot of folks. Miles City uses it a lot, but I don't know how it addresses sidewalks. And
Okay,
for the beginning, I think that's gonna be the focus for right now, is
Okay.
streets, because
okay,
down here, our streets are very good.
right, exactly.
Right, but it gives, like you said, it gives directions.
Yeah, just something to get I mean, we have something in the last CIP on streets, you know, basically every section of street. And it was,
To repave it?
it was what it cost to
Yeah.
gutter and pave it, and so.
Yeah.
If you had them all together, it was $100 million.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
No, it's not.
And there's no way to get from here
Perfect.
to there. But
No.
I'm trying to figure out a way that we can get
Okay.
some momentum.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, and we talked about that at Public Safety today too, that there's a lot of streets that are actually used for, like, the crossing guard at 14th Street. On the east side of that, there's no sidewalks. And the kids, if you want to get to the crossing guard, you're walking in the middle of, from Platt to Broadway, in the middle of the road in the morning when it's busy with traffic.
Everyone's sitting there.
And there's no sidewalk on either side of the street. So you can't even tell people to shovel their sidewalk there, because there's no sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, so it's things like that. And then it's always been an issue up at the high school, if you come out, is it Fifth Street? Not Second Street, but the Fifth Street, there's no sidewalk
Yeah.
down that street.
No light.
Yeah, I know, there's no light either. So it's things like that, that I don't know if there's some grant money out there to apply
No.
for, that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
if you guys have any.
But yeah,
capital
that'd be great.
improvement Ideas.
Ideas.
I do,
Just
put it
email
in
them to me.
Cool.
And-
Yeah. And have you, have you seen the downtown master plan?
No.
I haven't either, not lately anyway, so I didn't know
Yeah.
if any of that was,
Incorporates in that.
yeah, I mean, if they're planning, you know, if part of it is,
That's be on city property.
yeah, but if they're like planning on making, you know, some of these one-way, so you can angle
Mm.
park, or, I don't know, I mean, that was kind of out there, but I don't know that it stayed in there. And the bump outs, the painting of the bump outs instead of doing bump outs was part of it too, but that would probably be pretty easy to design and
Yeah, I don't
For-
think bump outs are gonna make it.
even painted ones?
Painted ones,
Painted
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, 'cause it's mainly in the, summertime when people are really actively trying to cross the street.
No, and I think it'd be an improvement. I don't think they'd, you know,
Hopefully.
I mean, I think they'd be fairly easy to put in and easy cost-wise.
Right.
And if they don't work, then
We're not really all.
you're not having it.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know if people would use them or not, you know, if they'd actually walk out into the street on it versus having it,
I think if you did it right and, you know, maybe
Yeah.
work with somebody who knows that stuff,
Yeah.
traffic guy,
Yeah.
I think you could probably design them to where they would have a better chance of working.
yeah.
So that's what I got. I'm done.
Perfect. And I just was reading your snow removal policy, so 3 or more inches of snow. Then
Yeah,
you'll,
that's kind of what we threw together. That's a draft.
yeah. I mean, that's not that much
I
snow,
printed that out to give it to the mayor, and then it got somehow photocopied on the back for
You could go back to the 70s where they didn't plow and everybody rode their snowmobiles around town.
Cross-country skiing.
Well, it doesn't matter, we get, I mean, I think part of it possibly a change in culture after COVID, but.
I
Yeah,
just got back from Lewis-town and we're doing
We were out
fine.
plowing the other morning, and Rob got flipped off 4 times for thinking of windrow snow. I don't know what people, they want us to plow,
yeah.
Only,
there's no winning.
No, there
There's
isn't, no.
winning.
Because you're gonna plow somebody in, because
Yeah.
people, you know, they're,
And so, I don't know.
it's always like that. It's a constant thing.
Anytime you touch snow,
bless your heart.
you
No, yeah.
we had
No.
that wet snow on Memorial Day, I told them, drive around, with your lights on, and leave the plows up.
Yeah.
Because it's that wet, heavy stuff, and I didn't want it freezing in windrows, but I knew if we didn't go out, people would scream. I said, just run those big trucks, it'll be a path out, splash it, and we did that all day. We didn't get it at all.
I know, no, I think that's great. Well, you know it's gonna melt right away, so why plow it?
Oh, and it was just messy and.
But they need to see you out there.
But-
Yeah, they saw you. You were there.
It's like,
Wear your bright yellow coat, put your flashlight on.
you know, you live in Montana, and so it's, snow's part of it, so if it's gonna, yeah, so, okay.
Great, thank you for that.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you
Mike.
very,
All
very
right,
much.
you know,
Makes note taking.
all your time, but
Yeah,
you're-
no, thank you.
I'll
Appreciate it.
give you guys that.
See.
And then, So tonight we have, the RFP for solid waste collection and disposal,
Up for discussion?
up for discussion.
Mhm.
I believe the mayor and you found out we do have to do a request for proposal for the, solid waste because of the amount of the contract, so.
Oh, yeah.
And, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping we get more than one company just to apply, just to see what's out there.
Is there more than two out there? I mean, is it still McAllister or McKinsey?
McKinsey,
Just
yeah.
McKinsey and Public, okay.
Public, yeah.
Mhm.
I think so. I don't think there's any other ones out there.
Mm-mm.
I've never seen another truck.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we get in, I guess, and, yeah. Do you have any comments on that, Mike, or just?
No, I think I need to sit down and go over that one. I think that's more or less a copy of the last one.
Yeah.
And just I don't know that we need to really add anything to it or subtract anything to it. There was talk about, trying to get some ideas on what a curbside recycling
Yeah,
program
that's what I was
would
wondering.
look like, cost. I think it's worth looking into that. I got a feeling it's gonna be a hard thing to sell cost-wise, and I believe that it's not gonna be an option. You're gonna have it, because they can't do it for whatever, half the population that wants it, then it doesn't pencil for them.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're gonna say,
Yeah, no,
it's all or nothing.
right.
And I don't know, and right now, it's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I mean, those are, and it's gonna add costs,
Yeah.
so.
More than $6 a month that we're paying right now.
I'm guessing, but I don't know.
I'm sure it would.
Yeah.
Oh, Victor,
Perfect.
Victor, Idaho, a town near and dear to my heart, I will call, they do it. I was there this summer for 10 days and they have pickup and I'll just call them,
Yeah.
see what's up, 'cause it works great for us.
They have a recycling can and a
What-
garbage can.
But I think
They
one
have-
of our concerns also was a lot of the homes, like, wasn't it the alleyway issue with going through the alleys, like, being able to put all their receptacles out there for, like, a lot of people have to move all of that stuff up front and then move it back, and it was,
Take it from me, people won't clean things, they won't sort things.
mhm,
And when I was in Victor, I left something out in a box, you know, a recycling box, and they didn't take it. I misunderstood the directions.
mhm.
No big deal. But, you know, Republic, I don't know about McKinsey, is gonna take everything.
Okay.
Because that's just, they're not trained on what to do and what not to do. So they're gonna just take everything anyway.
Yeah.
That's my thing. But people aren't good at at least with the recycling the way it is now, we can have eyes on it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And when they bring stuff like styrofoam, nope, sorry, take it home.
Yeah.
But now, with this way, I don't know. But
Well, well, when they did it before, a long time ago, they had the nets on the side of the truck. And pretty soon, I mean, they just started throwing it away.
Yep.
Because it wasn't good it wasn't cleaned and it wasn't,
yeah,
you know,
it's gross.
Yeah.
so,
So I don't know.
yeah,
Of course, it's worth looking into and see how much it's gonna cost.
Mhm.
And I'd ask Victor, what do you do about people who don't clean out their peanut butter jars, or they, you know, leaving you trash, that's bona fide trash and whatever, but,
yeah.
I got fined in Japan.
oh, I bet Japan was amazing.
I got fined there. I got fined in Germany just over Christmas for not filling it properly, not taking the lids off the vodka bottles.
Yep.
How many vodka bottles did you have?
Well, that's enough for me to notice.
Okay, all right, so,
We're doing pretty good with keeping our eyes on things, but
yeah.
when our eyes go off, oof.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't wanna go from what we're doing now to basically just having it all go into the garbage, because it's not happening right.
Correct.
So, I think those are all great things to talk about and look and see what they propose too. And if you wanna get a hold of the people in Victor and see how they do it, that'd be great.
The other thing
Absolutely.
about doing curbside is, and you probably know this, but like, you get a lot of out-of-town people down there, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And if we did curbside, we probably wouldn't do the $6 a month. I don't know, we'd have a recycling center too.
Yeah.
And then so the people outside of town, which that's not really our concern, but
Mhm.
it would take away their recycling by having, by having
Mhm.
curbside.
Yeah, it would. It is a service, whether they live in town or not, so,
And a lot of visitors already are recycling
yeah.
wherever they live.
Okay. So, I don't know if you got a chance to read the snow removal letters in the packet.
I did.
I
read one.
appreciate those, especially going out to the business owners. It's kind of a nice refresher of what our current ordinance is, and because we didn't really need, I personally don't think we needed to change the ordinance. We just need to start enforcing what we have. And, and the first thing about that is education, and I appreciate that going out. And I did get, a complaint, and I think you and the mayor drove by to see the huge piles of snow blocking people's driveways so they couldn't see to back out over by Circle 17. And then the one on 19th Street and Broadway is really high too, but I have a feeling that'll be gone with, tonight, yeah, so that'll be good, because it's really hard to see around when and that's a horrible intersection to come out on anyway.
One sidewalk, one that caught my attention, I actually stopped in your store, because I was trying to get hold of the guy that owns that parking lot behind there.
Kibble and Kurtz?
Oh, Kibler and Kirch, yeah, yeah,
They
Jeremiah.
plowed all that snow from the parking lot right on that sidewalk,
Mhm.
Oh, good.
and you look down there, and I noticed it because people were, from the post office to the IGA, it's all clear sidewalk right there, and people were walking the street.
In the street.
Mhm.
I called somebody,
Jeremiah, yeah,
I
yeah.
left a message to him, but I never heard back. And basically, I told him that if we can, move forward without doing that, we'll help get the sidewalk clear this time.
Yeah,
Then people walk through there a lot.
Yeah.
they do, yeah.
All the time.
That's a busy street,
Mhm.
It is, yeah,
so
so,
it'd be good to have functioning sidewalks there, and right now we don't.
yeah. And I don't know if who clears it, if it, is it Elkin Pine? Yeah. But then you also have that letter in there to the snow removal companies basically don't put your snow in the public right of way, including on sidewalks, and if it gets to a certain height, you need to haul it away. And I appreciate that the city is actually offering a place for them to take that as well, so. It's in the packet, yeah. So, because, yeah, some of those piles are, and, I mean, we get snow, but some of them are getting really tall and they need to be hauled away, it's time.
Good fun.
Yeah, get sleds and hills, yeah, right out into Broadway from 19th. It's like, yeah. Okay, I don't know, do you have any update from just what you've already done in the
Yeah,
parks?
Parks
Or,
and that's
and
one.
then,
Other than that?
Yeah, I think parks, all they're really talking about is basically we're gonna combine Arbor Day and Earth Day. We're gonna do a tree planting, kinda like we did last year,
Right.
with 30 trees.
okay,
The Pride Park thing, we're doing just when things dry out, we'll probably continue our little project up at coal miners that we're chiseling away at, but, that's something I'm probably gonna add in the CIP too, because at some point we might need to go get some money to finish that one up.
okay. So, to go back up to our priorities and the timeline, what we've been doing in the other committees is kind of a list of priorities, and, we'll have that at the end of each meeting to kind of pull up and say where we at, do we want to start working on this? Is there something farther out that we need to work on? So obviously, your CIP would definitely be a priority moving
Right.
forward. And then, solid waste collection and just that contract, however, we'll be helping with that.
CIP.
Solid waste contract,
I'm
and,
trying to get this memorandum together, that kind of goes through what we had lined up for this summer, because we have a lot of work that we were gonna do this summer, and I think now that's up in the air a little bit.
Okay.
It didn't print right, so I'm not.
I got
gonna
you.
That's
give it-
okay. So-
I mean, this summer.
I got enough.
Like, possibly we'd have a 60-inch bypass project.
Okay.
We're gonna have the lining project for wastewater.
yeah, wow,
Possibly we may have EDA if that gets through. Possibly we would have the stream bank restoration project on Ninth Street,
Yep.
Are we talking about what's possibly impacted by the thing?
No,
No.
what we're, priority,
Priority
what
list.
we're gonna be
Oh,
working on.
okay, gotcha.
potentials 2 days ago for the summer. So, I mean, I think probably a priority is gonna be the summer projects too.
Yeah, okay.
CIP,
They're
solid
gonna
waste,
create- Each one's
memorandum.
gonna create its own little list of issues and
Okay.
Yeah, and then, when we, of course, the 19th Street property, that, will we be doing, do we put that out yet for an RFP? No.
so.
We just have to,
Which one?
the timeline, do we need to be worrying about that, the timeline for the inn to tear down and the steam roastery? Because tonight we're voting on authorizing it.
Yep,
Mhm.
and we're still gonna put that in the letter of adjustment, so what we're waiting for is approval.
Right,
They have reached out to, within seconds of when we got the notice, we have reached out to find out if that's gonna be impacted or not.
okay,
We've already
Impacted by
done,
by the freeze?
yeah,
Okay.
so,
He may change his mind
as
tomorrow
soon
morning.
so the answer is, when we get the notice that it's paid for,
Mhm.
as soon as we get it's been done, we will have people on site within a week. We had a
Okay.
backhoe that we chased off last time, because they said, go ahead, and then they said, just kidding. We had a backhoe on
It was
property.
ready,
I know.
it was ready.
It was in process when they said, no wait. So we will have it within a week when they tell us
Okay.
it's paid for.
So I guess as far as our committee goes, is there going to be any resolutions that we'll need to be looking at, that we need to work on anything?
No,
here?
for that,
Okay.
no, we're done for that, because we're basically outsourcing those things.
Okay,
Okay.
and then when it's all cleared off, do you want us to participate, or is it gonna be the Parks Board that participates in like public meetings on what they'd like to see and what ideas, like you
I
know?
think that is, let me see which committee, so I think that's absolutely council's purview, and if council
Okay.
wants to send it to Parks to get input,
Okay.
the what next stage for
Right.
Rocky Fork.
Because, you know, people are gonna wanna, I mean, and it's all gonna depend on
And my
who
2
the
cents,
next
if it gets narrowed down and it has wild grasses growing in it, I'm calling it a victory.
Yeah.
We have lots of parks that look like that.
Yeah,
So as far as what's next, if anything else, that's completely gonna be council's
Okay.
purview.
well, and we do have, tonight also, the Eagles Nest.
Yes, for sub.
Yes, and
So-
I still wanna move in with, so let me give you just two,
So,
let me give you a couple of updates. So Chad's specific response is, we are actively monitoring the situation on how it will affect the various fund agencies and our clients. My biggest concern would be delays in the EDA grant for the streets project,
Yep.
which Mike has probably already talked
Yes.
to you.
Yep.
We're already concerned about, is it gonna end up being late enough that we would make more sense to push it to next year? It may also affect the FEMA funding for the bank stabilization project,
yep.
which is down on the south side. The grants for wastewater project and state programs, so should not be, or state programs, the grants for wastewater project or state programs should not be affected.
Okay.
And then they will, so that was them, and then from Greg, okay, I've got a couple, he's there. So anyway, he's reached out to DEQ too. We received an email from, can you please advise if this is gonna affect the Bastion property? Additionally, does this affect, the grant that's going forward on Eagles Nest? So those are the
Okay.
2 projects going forward.
Okay,
Alright.
so can you try to, put those priorities just like on a spreadsheet?
Yeah, so this is
Um,
how we did it.
Yeah, just however you,
When did you guys come up for meeting time?
4:45?
yeah.
4:30,
Oh, 4:30.
4:30 on
Or
Tuesdays.
4:40, for our new meeting?
For the
Yeah,
meeting time,
4:30.
4:30. So we can shift it, that way we can, we're not
Yeah.
like rushing
I
it.
don't have a pen, so I do have a
Here.
pen. So, no, it's the pen that's staying.
So
'cause I
this
don't
is
know
just
where
what we
my-
did for land use.
Okay,
I just figured.
perfect.
And then we-
Yeah, could you do something like that? And then if anybody has any, thing they wanna add to those future priority things, just
Mhm.
email email the group
Yeah,
and
I've got-
we'll,
This is what I have. I have the CIP, the solid waste contract,
On Tuesday, right?
yeah, the 16-inch bypass.
memorandum for Mike, which includes the 16-inch bypass, wastewater, and the EDA, restoration.
Yeah, and, yeah.
Restoration, I think that's, I don't write restitution.
No, okay.
Okay.
And, are we, as far as the Parks Board goes, are we going to be looking at, have they talked any more about forming that committee for the tennis courts? That we'll have to write a resolution?
Yet, so that they can get the next meeting going? Adjourn?
What?
Did you guys adjourn yet?
No,
No,
Okay.
not yet. Give me 1 minute.
I think supposedly, the next meeting, they're gonna come and talk. They haven't-
Okay.
They haven't showed up yet. So-
Well, sure.
Okay, because when that happens, if they do it like the pool committee, then we have to pass a resolution to form it. So just keep us updated on that, I guess, when,
No, I think you should follow the same format as school.
yeah. So put that maybe as a future agenda, future,
so
I
park,
also don't have my
yeah,
glasses.
tennis court
Really,
committee.
you think you can
Is there
see
any
and you
other,
really can't.
comments or anything else, guys?
committee.
Thank you, Mike, so much for your time.
Okay, park.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you, adjourned.
Fine.
Thank you.
I was rushing us. Oh, damn it. Good thing we're starting at 4:30 from now on.
Yeah, that's one of the main things too, so I can actually, take a break.
Yes.
You
Oh,
guys aren't changing your seating, correct?
No. I'm happy. Down
Unless you
there.
don't wanna stay with me anymore, you don't like sharing your food.
Maybe I want to sit next to her and she can sit next to Dave.
No, I'm good where I'm at, it's good. I like hiding behind the computer, I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I don't really,
some to that.
Did you, stop your meeting?
Yes.
I hope so, 'cause
Oh, no, hang on.
stop it.
Starting